The Perth Canyon is today's topic of examination. On this channel, we try to understand erosion that makes no sense. And this canyon makes no sense. Here is a same-size overlap with the Grand Canyon. These two canyons look very different, but they have the same depth at around 6,000 feet from the top of the cliff. With the Grand Canyon, there was the Hopi Lake, which overflowed and initially carved the Grand Canyon rapidly. It's more complicated than that, but that's the main idea. With the Perth Canyon, it was supposedly carved by the Swan River, which is crazy because this river is tiny and doesn't have an impressive canyon or valley. Nor does it have a large watershed or terrain capable of holding a large lake that could suddenly breach. But it does line up fairly well with the canyon. This is an erosional canyon and not a rift valley or trench. The sonar data off the continental shelf is not very good, but it does look like there is a large fan deposit with smaller marine canyons on it, like what is seen offshore of the Amazon River. The Perth Canyon is apparently not a marine canyon. It was supposedly carved above water 2 million years ago, when the sea level was 450 feet lower than today. That doesn't even make the shelf before the canyon dry land, much less explain a canyon that's 6,000 feet deep and travels to a depth of over 12,000 feet. And this area is known for being one of the most rigid and stable parts of the continental crust that has experienced extremely minimal uplift and subsidence over millions of years. So obviously, this is a marine canyon. For deep water canyons, the carving process is done by dense underwater debris flows, called turbidity currents. This must have been what is responsible for the Perth Canyon. And when it settled, it made the large fan deposit. But what could have caused so much moving debris to flow through here, when the land inland is flat and doesn't have much elevation or even slope to get a large debris flow going? This is what makes this canyon so hard to understand. It is over 4.5 miles wide at the base of the channel, and from cliff to cliff it's 11.5 miles. This is more impressive than the Grand Canyon, which is 8 miles wide from cliff to cliff. But the tributaries flowing from both sides widen the Grand Canyon, while the Perth Canyon does not have such tributaries, which is consistent with marine canyons that have underwater debris flow origin. This canyon suddenly begins 30 miles off the coast of Perth, and it is considered the world's largest plunge pool, although it doesn't exactly have a plunge pool. Its sudden depth makes this a great spot for deep-sea fishing. The marine terrace here is a notable planation surface. This is responsible for its sudden beginning. And if the land wasn't planed flat, we would have seen the canyon continue inland. This erasing of land deleted important information to understand this canyon. And that is why this is one of the most mysterious marine canyons in the world. So bizarre that it's not even considered a marine canyon. But its depth, lack of tributaries, curving channel, and large fan deposit prove that it is. So I think that the best way to understand how it formed is by considering that the terrain on the continent was completely different than how it is now. Imagine there were mountains here that have now been weathered down to hills. I think that the path of the Swan River was likely the route of the debris flow, but it is now unrecognizable to what it once was. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and you can support me on Patreon.